Follow me if you can. Take a piece of paper. Write out, in sort of close spaces between each letter, write in a line, A through Z, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. Isn't it sort of taxing to have to say it when you've said it so many times and you know it, and you're like, all right, hurry up and finish it. We know what A through Z are, but I wanted to make sure. So then number them across the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Even that's tedious if you do it. See how we want to shorten everything? We want to make everything easier? Bear with me. Okay. Now, below that, since J is our 10th letter, which is a 1 with a 0 in front of it, put that 1 and 0 on the far side of everything on the next row down. So you can start underneath the A with K. So start underneath the A with K. Underneath the B, put L. Underneath the C, put M. Underneath the D, put N. Underneath the E, put O. Underneath the F, put P. Underneath the G, put Q. Underneath the H, put R. Underneath the 9, put S. Underneath the 10, put T. Underneath the K, put U. Underneath the L, put V. Underneath the underneath the M, put W. Underneath the N, put X. Underneath the O, put Y. Underneath the P, put Z. Now, I know this is taxing to listen to, but work with it, okay? So then underneath those, put a 0, just a 0, as a degree symbol. But now we're bringing it closer into sight. 0. Now this should be under the J, which is under nothing, a space in front of the A on the line before. So there's an A with a whole line, and on top of it numbered 1 through 26. Underneath it, from the A, you have K all the way to Z underneath P, lined up with its corresponding letter. Now underneath those, from that J that you have out there in front of the K, put a 0. And underneath the K and the A, number 1 under K, 2 under L, 3 under M, 4 under N, 5 under O, 6 under P, 7 under Q, 8 under R, 9 under S, 10 under T, 1 under U, 2 under V, 3 under W, 4 under X, 5 under Y, 6 under Z. All right. Now you'll see that we go 1 through 10 twice. We have 26 letters in our alphabet. What does that leave on the end of our alphabet? We would leave a T, just like we had J. Then we put a space with a nothing, O. This will help us with letters and numbers and words in this third space, because we're third-dimensional people who don't understand that we're third-dimensional people, that we are all-dimensional people, but the human body is a third-dimensional thing, which operates fourth and fifth-dimensional bodies. In the big terms of dimensions, not saying every thought you have is a dimension of your own mind. Like in the dimensions that contain humans, creatures, animals, planets. This is what I'm talking about, the big dimension word. Just like you can say, this is my house, and mean the place you live in, and you can say, like you're playing a sport game and you're winning, and you say, this is my house. You can be sitting in a room playing a video game against somebody, or even against the computer, and when you win and score, you say, this is my house. Like, it's all your house. Your body is your temple, literally. Your body is your house. And on top of that, the earth is your house. The earth is your temple. Everybody around you is your temple. So therefore, you'd want everyone around you to be clean and kept up and housekeep your temple pretty damn well, wouldn't you? All right, so now we'll move into the next row. We have a T underneath an O underneath a J. We have A through Z, followed by K through Z with a J in front. Then we have a 0 in front of 1 through 6, because at that point it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so if you notice that 10 between the T and the U, that can switch things from, it has a 1, 0 for the 10 under the T and a 1 under the U. All you did is took the 2 off of the 20 and the 2 off of the 21 for the letters, the number of letter they are in our alphabet. Now, this will make more sense if you look at it a few times and your brain absorbs it in, because I'm trying to do it in a way where if I talk it and I speak it and you write it down and then follow along with it, it'll sink in better. So that's why I'm doing it this way, is taxing as tedious as it may be. It's like trying to learn the whole alphabet and all the numbers really fast. And you're going to be able to do this in like a couple days, maybe even a week, So I'll go through it one more time. The first line is A through Z with the numbers on top of them, 1 through 26. The second line, underneath A is a K. Out in front of the K to the left is a J because it's a 10, which is a 1, 0. So then we have K, which is 1, 1, okay? So we go K through Z. So that's 11 through 26. But we don't have to number them if you don't want to. So then you move to the next row down. Underneath the J, put a 0 as a space. We're just putting a 0 there to note that it's space. Okay, so then under the A, under the K, underneath the K and A, then it's 1, all the way up till 10 under T. Then you start again with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 under U, V, W, and then X, Y, Z. Now move those to the next line down, put the T under the J and the space 0. Now underneath AK1, you'll put U, then under BL2, put V, under CM3, put W, under DN4, put X, under 5E5 or 5EO5, put Y, and under, this is very difficult to try to explain, so I make sure I word it right, under 6P6Z. Oh boy, I got that a little messed up, but I'm going to make sure that I do this in front of people. So this may be messed up, but this is writing down something that I have in my head that I know and I use all the time. And if you saw me and talked to me, you'd see how I can do it fluently in talking and speech. But trying to write it down is a lot harder than trying to teach trigonometry, because I'm not trying to do it in a big course. It's trying to get you to learn something I'm teaching you. I'm trying to show you the truth. I'm not trying to teach you anything. I'm trying to bring back your internal knowing before you became a solid body and forgot all this stuff because you toxified it with animals and chemicals. Like, animals are great to look at, but to put in your body, they sort of mess you up because you start thinking like their body thinks, not just their individual operating mind, just like you're not your individual operating mind. So the special missing piece of our spinning earth movement is our thought. The thing that's spinning is time. Time, the invisible illusion, is your thinking. If you get this, it'll get very deep. Now, when you look at these U, V, W, X, Y, Z, if you take a U and you put a 1 in the middle of it, just a 1, just take a U and put a 1 in the center of it. Doesn't that look like an E with some space? Well, it's pointing out to space anyway. And if you would land down with that A on top of the U, wouldn't it look sort of like a spaceship falling down onto a U? And it sort of is, because they're shapes, and our shapes did this many, many times. So then you go into a V. A V is under a B, which that's a vital body. At that point, you don't see what the V looks like in a V. But if you would take just that little dip between the two circles of the V of a B, when you make a capital V, B, and you make the loops, and you have that separation between the two bubbles of a V facing outward at this time to the right, that's the vital being. That's the vital body that you don't see, because it's only 2 then. And when you have 2 times 11, which is kinetic, and 2 times 11 is 22, which 2 is B, and 11 is K, and 22 is V. It's a vital body. Like, our letters and numbers are math. And they're simplified down into words, but then those words also spin back out of them when we use them together with each other. Just like 1 plus 2 equals 3, although it was 1 and it was 2, although it was never anything because it came together as 3 now, as another topic. See, we mess ourselves up with thinking too hard, giving each other word problems. And this sounds like I'm really messing your brain up because I'm trying to do it so simply using universal mind, not using cosmic mind, not using, I would even say this is just the one mind. It's not even any word. It's just the one mind. It's what we all know deep down and can see as patterns that have always been happening. So it doesn't matter if a scientist comes up and says, that's not right, I can show you this. And I would say, let me break that down and show you how that's wrong. And they'll get mad at me for it. How would you like to be somebody who can see where people are wrong, And even if you tell somebody right now and they hear it as me disproving somebody else or showing that somebody else is wrong, and I'm not trying to disprove, it's just words I'm using. So if I show somebody else has been wrong, that person will be like, wow, that's interesting. I never noticed that. But then I'm like, well, I can show you where you're wrong in the things you do with your body and the things you do with what you watch if you really want help. But people say, I don't need no help. And I go, okay. Like if you want to be completely in tune with nature and the universe, then I can help you do that. And if you don't want to be that, then you definitely don't need help. But if you wanted that, then you do need help because you're doing the wrong things, or else you're purposely doing the wrong things. Then in that case, then I just won't help because I love you. I just want you to learn. And if you're not learning, then why would I force you to? Because then you're not going to absorb any of that either. So these things are going to take place when people are ready to. I mean, this is a really deep thing, and this kind of thing I'm trying to talk into a recording, because when I try to shoot a video of it, I don't get all the editing and all that stuff, and I don't have the time to worry about that. That's other people who don't understand that everything that happens is inside first. So if you can't feel it inside, it doesn't matter how much outside you see it until you take it inside. You hear all these stuff, you hear and see all these things out there, and nobody takes them serious enough because they only conceptually get it, or they only get a little bit of it. They don't take it inside and say, what was the meaning behind this horror movie? What was the meaning behind this great thing that I just experienced? What was the meaning behind this horrible thing that I just experienced? What was the meaning behind this get together with family that felt so meaningful? What was the meaning behind it all? Start thinking about what you're doing and why you're doing it, and you'll start learning of what your personal and spiritual and all around your God inside you that is trying to learn this time. And you'll see, it's not very hard. And if you finally get that, and you happen to be a governmental person who thinks you got to take down this guy and, blah, 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 you can think that way. Or you can be like, yeah, that's what my character would do this lifetime, so I've got to do that. Or else the other characters who think they're law people will get mad at me. But what about those characters who think they're bad guys? Well, once we teach them what's going on, there won't be good guys and bad guys anymore. There's only disagreements and there's only confusion. Once we get all on the same page, which doesn't mean doing the same actions, it just means understanding each other, then things are perfect. I'll finish this explanation of the numbers and letters later because it's too hard to do. I see it in my head and they're spinning. So when I'm trying to pull them out of a spinning thing and put them together so people can see it, it's hard to do. But for me, it's not. Trying to speak it after doing it is. So I'll just worry about doing this guy in front of you. So if you get confused and you try to follow along and then you said, I don't get it and I give up, I'm sorry. But if you get it, because I did say it the right way, I tried to clarify the things that I sort of stutter-stepped with my speaking, but you'll see what I mean. So go A through Z, and then K through Z, and then 1 through 10, and then 1 through 6 on the end of that 1 through 10, which would be under the K through Z. And then you put 0 in front of the A through Z line, a J in front of the K through Z line, a 0 in front of the 1 through 10 and 6 line. You can even put them out to 16 if you want to, but then it'll help you with counting later if you do that. But we're moving down to the next line, which is the fourth line, the doorway, which is AVW XYZ with a T in front. So, like I said, it lines up. It'll be JOT or J0T, AK1U, BL2V, 3C, M3V, and then it'll be 4D and 4W, E505. I messed it up.